Top 10 Beautiful City in the World. There are many beautiful cities in the world, but which one is the most beautiful? The following list includes 10 best cities in the world that you must visit at least once in your lifetime. Dublin. Dublin is the capital and largest city of Ireland. The city lies on the east coast of Ireland, at the mouth of the River Liffey, and is bordered on the south by the Wicklow Mountains. Dublin was founded by Vikings who chose to settle there due to its proximity to a major settlement in Leinster, now known as Leinster. This settlement would later become known as Dublin or Blackpool because it was so near a source for water for drinking purposes, i.e., drinking from puddles. London. London is the capital city of England, and it's also one of the most culturally diverse cities in the world. It has a rich history as well as many famous landmarks that make it a great place to visit. London was founded over 2,500 years ago by Romans who built their first settlement on what later became known as Roman Road, later renamed Watling Street. In the year 1666, Charles II officially declared London as an independent state from Holland. After he returned from exile in France, this marked its official independence from France at that time. Paris. Paris is a city with a rich history and culture. It has been home to many great artists, writers, and musicians since the 12th century. It's also known for having one of the best food scenes in all of Europe. The architecture in Paris is absolutely stunning. There are so many beautiful buildings that you'll want to see them all. The Eiffel Tower stands at 324 meters high, 1,063 feet, which is taller than New York City's Empire State Building. The people who live here are warm and friendly too. You'll find lots of cafes where you can relax after exploring some new sites or shopping around town, and don't forget about nightlife. There's no better way to spend your time when visiting this beautiful city than enjoying its many bars and clubs. Amsterdam. Amsterdam is a city in the Netherlands. It's the capital of the province of North Holland, and it's home to 742,892 people, 2016. Amsterdam was founded around 1200 CE by Count Floris IV van Holland, who named it after his wife Amsterdam, or Amsterdam in Dutch. The city flourished as an economic center for trade between Northern Europe and the Baltic Sea through its port at De Ridderweg, nowadays known as Bersplein. After 30 years of independence from Spain under William I of Orange, who later became King William III, Amsterdam became part of France until 1795 when they lost their last colony against Britain, during Napoleonic Wars which ended with Treaty of Amiens. Barcelona. Barcelona is a beautiful city with many buildings of architectural interest, including the La Sagrada Familia and Columbus's Column. It is also the capital of Catalonia and has one of Europe's largest ports. The city's name comes from the Greek word Barcino, and was first used during Roman times. The area was ruled by the Moors in the 8th century and then occupied by the Crown of Aragon in 1287. Barcelona became an important trading center for wool, leather goods, silk cloth, and other commodities. New York. New York is one of the most famous cities in the world, and it's also a major tourist destination. This city has a lot to offer for visitors who want to see what life is like in America's largest city. New York City has some amazing sights that you'll want to check out. The Empire State Building, one of New York's most iconic structures, with its 102 stories rising above Midtown Manhattan. It was built between 1931 and 1934 by architect William Van Allen and opened on May 1, 1931 as Manhattan's greatest spectacle. Rockefeller Center, a complex consisting of several buildings including Radio City Music Hall, Radio City Music Hall itself. American Airlines Arena, formerly the Beacon Theater, Hotel Pennsylvania, Rockefeller Plaza, NBC Studios, now home to Today Show Studios. Warner Brothers owns Studio Lot on 66th Street which houses production companies such as HBO. Sony Pictures Television / Columbia TriStar Television / Lightfoot Entertainment Productions / Warner Brothers / MGM / Legendary Pictures. Prague. Prague is the capital of the Czech Republic, and it's one of the most beautiful cities in Europe. It's also one of the most historic cities in Europe, with a lot of history behind it. For example, Prague Castle was originally built as a fortress by King Vladislav II Jagiellon in 1348 AD. However, this castle became famous when Charles IV decided to make it his residence during his reign over Bohemia, which included parts of present-day Germany. In 1618 AD, when he became king again after being crowned Emperor, Charles IV had added lots of new buildings to this castle, such as gardens and palaces, but unfortunately they were burned down during World War II, so we don't know what they looked like today. Today there are still many beautiful churches around Prague, including St. Vitus Cathedral, which was built between 1220 to 1240 AD by order from Holy Roman Emperor Frederick II, who wanted it built, because he thought that if people believed strongly enough about God, then all their problems would be solved automatically. Another important building is St. Nicholas Basilica, which dates back even further than 1,300 years ago. Don't worry though, because even though this church looks old-fashioned now compared with modern architecture styles like glass windows etc., it was actually one of the most modern buildings back in its time. This church is also known as the New Jerusalem, because it was built to resemble a Romanesque basilica with many paintings and sculptures inside. Sydney. Sydney is the most populous city in Australia and the state capital of New South Wales. Located on Australia's east coast, it is the largest urban centre north of Melbourne. Sydney is a major global city and one of the world's most diverse and multicultural cities. It has been ranked as one of the top 10 cities in the world to live in by Lonely Planet 5 times, in 2007, 2008, 2009, 2010 and 2011. In 2016 it was rated as having some of the best weather in Australia for 2 consecutive years, running by the Weather Network with an average temperature ranging from 24 degrees Celsius 75 degrees Fahrenheit, from June through September, making it ideal for outdoor activities, such as walking or cycling around town during those months, when temperatures peak at around 30 degrees Celsius 86 degrees Fahrenheit. Stockholm. Stockholm is the capital of Sweden and one of Europe's most beautiful cities. The city has many green areas and parks, as well as lots of museums and nice restaurants. Stockholm's architecture is also impressive. There are historic buildings from all over the world that have been preserved due to their beauty or historical significance, including some which date back more than 500 years. Stockholm also has some wonderful shopping areas where you can find everything you need under one roof. Clothes shops specializing in men's fashion, jewelry stores with designer brands such as Cartier, shoe retailers selling designer shoes, accessories stores offering high-end handbags made by top designers like Louis Vuitton or Chanel etc., all within walking distance from each other. San Francisco. San Francisco is a beautiful city, with its hills and fog that make it look like a painting. It has many bridges, museums, restaurants and parks to enjoy. The city also has many hills that make it difficult to walk up, but very rewarding when you get there. The city is very hilly and there are many hills to climb. The city has many museums, restaurants and parks to enjoy. It also has many bridges that cross the bay. The city is also known for its fog. The fog makes the city look like a painting. It's very romantic. Cities are always beautiful. There is no such thing as a boring city. Cities have a lot of things to offer, and they're a great place to live. They have history and culture, which makes them interesting places for people who like adventure or simply want to experience something new. Cities are also great places for people who want to make money. They have a lot of businesses and industries, which means there's always work available.